Many of you will watch news stories about military members returning from a long deployment or overseas tour. They focus 90% on the member and about 10% on the wife and children. This always makes me feel uneasy because the service member is given so much attention. I always ask myself why. They're given the training and tools to do the best job in the most austere conditions. I deployed 5 times, and I always trained and then trained some more before deploying. What type of training has been given to the spouses of mothers? None to almost none. Sure, they had other spouses and mothers going through the same situation, and they could rely on each other to figure out carpool schedules, play dates, and all the normal daily activities, but that doesn't make up for what they're going through. I know many nights Mary stayed up late, doing dishes, folding clothes, planning out meals, mending a hole in a pair of jeans, paying all the bills, making cookies for a class party, or any other number of tasks that she could and had to do. That's what military mothers do. They show strength and determination when faced with austere conditions. They do this for their children and to try and make life as normal as possible so the kids don't dwell on the fact that their fathers aren't there. Mary told me many times the worst part of the day was late at night when the kids were asleep. She had finished all of her chores. She could relax for a few minutes. Letting her mind and body relax for a few minutes allowed her to remember how truly lonely she was, and she had to go to an empty bed. I wasn't there to talk about her day, what she had planned for the next day, or any other number of things that came to mind. It was her and her alone. Mary and I didn't start having kids until we'd been married for about 10 years. My Uncle Stevie asked me one day if I was a slow learner. I got an answer for that. And why did I need all that practice making a baby? My response, if there's one thing you should be practicing, shouldn't it be making babies? Mary turned beet red. After that, we had Spencer. We decided to try and have another baby. Again, it took a little practice, but we did it. We found out in late May 2003 that we'd be expecting our bundle of joy, Lauren. On the 31st of May 2004 at 8 a.m., I was given orders to deploy to Qatar in support of the war in Iraq. Here's a kicker. I had to leave the next morning at 0600, 6 a.m. for those non-military types. You can only imagine the thoughts going through my head about telling Mary. She was pregnant, a high-risk pregnancy, and she had a rambunctious 2.5-year-old boy to look after. I had so many appointments to complete that day, I couldn't even tell her in person. I had to do it over the phone. As soon as I told her, I could hear the anxiety in her voice, and she started to cry. It hurt hearing that, but being the strong military mother and wife that she was, she stopped, asked what I needed her to do, and what errand she could take care of it. I was in complete awe of her ability to see the big picture and take care of her family. I didn't get home that night until 7 p.m. She completed everything I asked for, but at the same time I could tell she needed a hug to reassure everything was going to be all right. She came up with a game plan to take care of Spencer, to take care of the house, to have a baby while her husband was deployed, and to support a war on terror. Amazing. The worst part of the whole deployment happened on the 19th of August 2004. Mary called me right after Lauren was born and said everything was okay. About 2 or 3 hours later, I can't remember since everything was a blur, Mary called and said Lauren was having complications breathing since she had fluid on her lungs and was in a NICU. She was upset, I was scared, but it was such a shock, I really don't know if I processed what was going on. That was the most helpless feeling in the world. Mary had to step up and be the mom of all moms. I still had 23 days left in country before I could come home. Mary, with the help of family, was able to take care of the house, Spencer, and make multiple trips to the hospital every day to see Lauren. Mary said she felt sort of strange going to the NICU since Lauren was 10 pounds and all the kids were a quarter to half her size. The nurses and other mothers never said a word. They comforted Mary as one of their own, just as mothers always do. I met Lauren for the first time on September 11th, 2004, and it was an awesome experience I will cherish as long as I can remember. I received a medal for that deployment for exceptional service, but I was given the tools and the training to do the best job I could. Mary wasn't given any training to do the job placed in front of her, but she did it. She had my utmost respect, admiration, and love for her exceptional service. I deployed once again in January 2010 to Baghdad, Iraq. My orders were 179 days or 6 months. Mary once again took control of the house and made sure Spencer and Lauren had everything they needed, and they focused their minds on other things. On May 16, 2010, Mary sent me an email asking her to call her immediately. My stomach sank, thinking there was something wrong with the kids, or even worse, her. I called and she asked if I was on email. She had something to send me. I got an email with a picture, but I couldn't tell what it was. She let me guess a couple of times and then said that's our roof on the inside. She and the kids had been caught in a hailstorm that caused $500 million damage citywide. She worked with the roofer and contractors to get everything taken care of. This was the first home we owned, and the responsibility Mary had to take care of the damage, deal with 2 young children while her husband was deployed was gigantic, but she got through it. On Memorial Day, she was able to call me and told me the roofer had messed up the patch job and left a leak in the roof right over our bed. Sometime during the night, she felt dripping water on her head. She woke up and found a bubble full of water right over where she lay. Luckily, I was the one who painted the walls and applied 3 coats. She jumped up and moved the bed, it usually takes both of us, and placed buckets for the leaks. She actually got a contractor out to the house on Memorial Day and got the roof patched until it could be replaced. She didn't have any other option. She had to do it. She had to take care of it, while making sure Spencer and Lauren were able to be kids and not dwell on the damage. I actually ended up doing 211 days in country, and it took over 9 days to get home. So much for military airlift. I got another medal for numerous awards for exceptional service. Mary earned more of my admiration, respect, and love. Mary always puts the needs of her 2 young children and the husband in front of her own. No one ever told her to do that. I guess it's an instinct only mothers have. Mothers find a way to get through the most difficult and stressful situations and function at a higher level than I could ever imagine. She is a nurturer, disciplinarian, wife, organizer, friend, lover, confidant, chauffeur, homemaker, and all-around crazy glue that keeps our family together and moving forward as a strong unit. Without any training, Mary has passed on her love of reading, music, and creativity, and all-around goofiness to Spencer and Lauren. All the military mothers are doing a job that nobody wants, but they do it because that's what mothers do. Mary, you're stronger than you know. I love you.